Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. We'll get started here in just about 2 or 3 minutes. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. Today is the 16th of March, 2022. We'll be taking a look at the ES futures just like yesterday. Look at some SPY. Give you guys a blueprint of what I'm expecting today using these trendy levels, using Fibonacci supply and demand, extension Fibonacci's, and so forth. And we'll just give you some numbers, but let's go ahead and start with the ES futures. So ES futures overnight, not too bad, pushing up here about 39 points. I think we're at a max of around 55 or so when most people were just waking up or taking a look at the market. And as normal, we kind of pulled back into a level. Remember yesterday when we went over these levels, we explained them, but I'll explain them again very quickly. You have a red box up here and you have a green box here, just looking at some normal supply and demand. Basically looking for price to travel from the green box into the red box where we created some structure up here or some supply. Now the journey from the green box to the red box, there's going to be some hiccups. We use trendy edges to identify these levels, and you can see here that market did push up into our weekly level, into the trendy edge, and you could see that we're backing off on that. So nice push up, but then a pullback right as we begin to open. Just like yesterday when I was explaining the SPY, we were doing sort of the same thing, and I gave you this bull channel and I taught you how to find that bull channel. So if you notice, this bull channel is not only confluent with the inside and up, but it's also confluent with the trendy cloud here, and this is your exponential moving averages. This is just a nice visual, and basically since we are above that cloud, bulls want to see price hold above that cloud. Now there's a really good chance that if for some reason we pull back, this is going to be a great buying opportunity, and it's if this then that. If price just breaks through this level and then breaks through the cloud, then basically that's a void, okay? And I just want to show you really quick what I'm talking about. So we're going to zoom in here. And right now, again, just backing off of the trendy edge here. That's expected. When price is under an edge, look for it to be resistance. When price is at a lower edge, look for it to be support. All right. So again, bullish channel right in here. You can see the numbers 4275 by 4250. We have the inside and up here, and we have the cloud here. So we have 3 points of reference. All right, lots of confluence here. I'd expect to bounce. However, if price for some reason, catalyst, right? We got Jerome on the mic today. If Jerome says something that the market doesn't like, market is going to pull back most likely into these areas. If for some reason it's so quick and the velocity of the pullback just goes right through these, then this is obviously not a buy. So what I'm looking for on these pullbacks is that we start to basically slow down as we get closer to these levels of support in this area. I'd love to see what's come in, test, start to go bid, buyer step in, stops go in. And typically for me, if I'm trading the ES futures, I'm looking no more than a 5-point stop. And then I'm looking for higher highs off of this level. And then we would basically be locked. Notice this would create an inside and down. Okay, so we'd have a new box here. And then we would create this box here. And then basically today could just be a non-event with a little bit of range that we're working with. The biggest thing here is that I don't want to do anything on open unless we could pull back into this bullish zone, or if we start to bid at around 4306 to 4310. And honestly, I'd rather see 4310 first because I would expect a little bit of rejection again up into the trendy edge. Okay. So what does this mean? Well, if you don't trade futures, that's okay. For every 10 points or so on the ES futures, you're looking at $1 and the SPY. Let's go ahead and go over to SPY. All right, so here we go. So we bought butterflies yesterday, and before I ended yesterday's session, we talked about that butterfly. This is our strike zone that we had for our calls, and you could see that price did push up into our strike zone. We did make money on this as well. And even if we're holding still, we're making money as price pushes up into this level. Notice that we're backing off of here, again, using the trendy edges, as you can see, as targets to the upside. So we have a gap. So what, right? Gaps do not scare me at all. I know that a lot of traders have a hard time trading gaps, but we have a couple tools here that we use to keep us in the trade, and it works very, very well. I know that there's a lot of probabilities and stats out there if you were to Google them, and it would say, well, during this type of gap, this will happen this many times and so forth. We have an easier way to teach that again, and it works really well. Notice that we're holding the levels that I put on here, and this was for our team yesterday. So the way that I like to approach this is, again, find that bull channel. Okay, so I'm going to turn this off just really quick, just like that. And I'm going to create this bull channel. I'm going to use some fibs. I'm going to find our gap. I'm going to come up into the pivot high. And I have a little template here for my fibs. Let's go ahead and get to settings. And I want to create this bull channel. It's going to be right there. Those numbers are 430.42 by 429.59. We want to see that this level is going to hold. If it does not, then if you're aggressive, which I'm not trying to be aggressive today, just going to hang out, then you could see a short down into at least 618% of this. So watch this. If I take this and go into my settings, I'm going to go to normal. Actually, norm, just like that. And notice that the 618 is here. Now, the golden Fibonacci, again, guys, you know, if we do not break this level, then the trend is still intact for the gap itself. And that number is 428.25. Okay, 428.25. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. We break 428.25, you have a 85% probability we'll fill the gap there. All right. So what if we just hold this level and we open up this morning and we hold that? Well, I'm going to show you as soon as we get started. We'll go to the 5-minute, just like we did yesterday, right? We'll kind of repeat yesterday. All right. And we'll kind of talk through it and give you guys some hints on what to expect just by using some of these scripts and these levels that I'm showing you. All right. All right. Let's go over here just really quick to the Qs, QQQ. All right. Had some people out there posting a lot of unusual option activity yesterday on the Qs, and not saying that that obviously cannot happen, but just remember all that stuff. A lot of tools have come to surface in the last several years of trading, and the more tools you could say, the better. But in my opinion, a lot of them are noise, and so they kind of get you to think in another way. So if you see millions of dollars buying puts or whatever on the Qs, you tend to hold back, and it deters you from making choices, right? I like to have less choices and like to execute instead of just sit there and think. All right, too much stuff to think about nowadays, so we try to make it as simple as possible. Notice on the Qs, all right, same thing. We're going to go into a daily, though. I want to show you this. We had some divergence yesterday, and we talked about that. The divergence was from the lows into the daily cloud, all right? Notice here, we're sitting at 332.69, up $4. Anybody that paid attention to all this noise that came out on Twitter about unusual put activity on the Qs most likely went short or didn't do anything, and they're waking up going, you got to be kidding me, right? So again, what's most important about yesterday was the fact that we didn't take out the lows, just like I told you guys, right? Told the team this. I said, if we don't take out the lows, look for a rounding bottom, and then we'd be paying attention to our daily candle and our 4-hour. On the 4-hour, can we get over the cloud? We did. On the 1 day, This is your resistance. But guess what? Now we're inside the cloud. So how do you approach this? It's quite simple. As long as we stay above the cloud, I want to keep the idea of continuing to stay long. However, I want to use the bottom of this cloud as that support. The bottom of that cloud at the moment is coming in at around 329 and a quarter. There you go, Natalie. All right. And you can also, if you want to, Natalie, you can go out to YouTube and check it out there and rewatch if you missed any. All right. So there's a link out there on my YouTube or on my Twitter. Okay. That'll take you over there. No problem. All right. So here is your resistance. All right. And this is now going to be your support. Notice we have a trendy edge in there, that yellow line there. So again, it is now confluent with that cloud. So that's going to be our support. And again, around 329.25. All right. All right. So what is happening? I want to follow up with Apple because I basically made this pretty straightforward, not only here in the room, but also to any followers out there, that I wanted to keep it light and just kind of concentrate on the normal SPY Qs, ES futures, but I just picked one name so that you guys could follow through for the rest of the week and kind of see how things work. This was Apple. All right. And if you go back, we looked at a monthly, we looked at the quarterly, we went to a weekly. And most importantly, I want to show you this. Noise is everywhere. A bunch of Debbie Downers and negativity. And yet the structure of the chart is what really held. So when you look at this, we identified this level in here. Price came down into that level. All right. And now we're bouncing. So I want to explain something, and I really want to reiterate that it doesn't mean that Apple cannot come down into the 145 level or even down here towards 127 at some point. But what happens is when you build this entire thesis in your head, when the market is at its lows, and then you basically fall into this wormhole that you think that the market will continue down, you miss a lot of opportunities to the upside. And history repeats itself quite a bit. When the market pulls back so much and you build that thesis, you then create long-term bears who continue to watch the market rise, and they don't know how to execute the upside anymore. And these are people that probably used to love trading the call side. It's really easy trap to fall into. I've been there, done it. So what we try to do is identify these levels to help us at least make a little bit of money to the upside, right? During a downtrend. So as you can see here, Apple pulled down into our green box. It pushed up as we expected. It actually went through some of our targets here, and I'm going to take these off to clean it up a little bit. All right. And now we're kind of left with this. We have a green box here, and I have a red box really far away. All right. So I'm not expecting this anytime soon. This would be a longer term picture. All right. But what I can do is pick a range here to trade from. And I'm going to go ahead and pick this range to this low. All right. And I'm going to use some Fibonacci's. So I'm going to place my fib on that range. I'm going to come down into the pivot low. And I want to show you here. We have 23 and 38. All right. And then we have the 50. The 50 is confluent with this structure where we have a lot of selling pressure. All right. So targets in this case, I'm going to take this guy here. I'm going to clone it. I'm going to pull it up. We're going to go just like this. Okay. 160 and a quarter. That's going to be your target. And your support, 23.6 at 156.39. You don't know why, that's okay. You can always come to Trendy Trading and check it out, and I'll be happy to explain. Let's go ahead and take this. We're going to put this here. We're going to name this support. just like that. All right, so let's take this off. Let's clean it up a little bit. And I'm actually, Control Z is going to bring, let's see. Yeah, we'll keep it right there. So we have these two targets to the upside. All right. And if I take this off, let me go ahead and take off the bands and the edges. And you're going to see over here, you're going to see the targets a lot easier. Okay, let's go ahead and take and put that here. And just to explain these really quick, the neutral in here and support, basically we're looking for buyers to step in. We say neutral because I wait for a reclaim here. All right. And again, just like I was showing you on the ES futures, if the market decided to quickly drop through this green box, then we don't do anything. It's pretty straightforward. All right. So here, support. This is going to be your new support on the gap up. This is going to be your next target at around 160 for Apple. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at BABA really quick. All right. So here's BABA. I want to show you guys this on a daily. Price came into the green box. So check this out. This one's a little bit different. We had a green box here. All right. Notice that the first time it came in, it worked pretty well. Second time it came in, worked pretty well. All right. Then we rolled over, and this is called price discovery. All right. It had to dig deeper to find more buyers. That's all. All right. Let's go to the 4 hour. Check it out. All right. And I am in this as a disclaimer. I'm in this trade as well. Almost everything I show you guys, I'm in. All right. And here we have extreme fear, China, they're going to delist every stock you've ever heard of, right? It's complete crap. All right. And so, you have to buy fear. You can't trade with scared money. You got to take a chance every once in a while. And this is what we're looking at. So this morning, sitting at 92.75, guess what? Kind of like the ES futures, they're pushing you right up into resistance. So know that you're opening up into resistance. So the people who are like, man, I wanted to trade BABA just yesterday or the day before, who didn't take that trade, are now in that category of what we call FOMO. Just be careful. FOMO is okay, but just don't do anything stupid, right? So just know that you're opening up into resistance. You could see a push close to $95. I would hold off personally unless it can hold over 95 today on the day. All right. Again, I'm already in this like 180 days out. So again, 100, if we can hold over 95 for the day, look for 95 to hold into Thursday. Okay. And then I would be looking for this next target up here at a 100. I could be wrong. Maybe it wants to push up there today. But again, the way that I would approach this, let's go ahead and find that bull channel really quick on BABA. And it's around 89 by 87. All right. So we're going to get started here in about 2 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and stop there. I'm also in Tesla. All right. And you can see these guys are up just a little bit, not too much. They tend to pull back right before the open. We'll see if they go bid a little bit later. But I'm going to concentrate on SPY. And I'm going to pull this up on a 5-minute chart. And I'm going to use my scripts. I'm going to clean it up a little bit. I'm just going to do the daily edges. Well, yeah. Do the weekly and the daily. Oh, clean that up a little bit. And we're going to turn on the PMZ. All right, guys. So far, notice that this box is starting to get created here before open. What we want to see from a bull perspective, again, that this low can hold in here. We might flush it really quick, but a bids or buyers that come in over 431, it's actually down here, 431.31, that is bullish. All right. And so I may start a position here and then add if we could take out the pivot high over here. All right, but I'm not in a rush. I still have some calls on for SPY. Uh, let's just kind of talk through it and use this as a learning experience. All right. Oh, also have some upstart guys, so I'm gonna be trimming out of those as well. Right, so we're trying to bid. Remember, we're right underneath the trendy edge there, so there's definitely some resistance. And let's see how much did I pay for the spreads here? 37 cents. And I don't think BABA options opened up yet, guys. Not that I could tell. Doesn't look like it. All right, notice how we popped up here. I need to zoom in. Sorry about that. Make it a little bit easier for you guys. Notice how we're popping up into the trendy edge and we have resistance there. All right, guys, we also have some lows that's up as well. So keep your eyes on that. I still don't think Baba's option chain open. Let me see. At least not for my strikes. Oh, they look like they're open. I see they got big spreads on them now. A biggie. There we go. All right, guys. So I just trimmed some Baba at 58%. Obviously, gonna keep some more on here for a long time out. And why the SPY just kind of sits here and, figures out if it wants to get over the edge or not and hold the support. Just kind of stay still. All right, nice push over the edge. Again, this box right here, very important for me. So far the support holding like we talked about. So we got the dollar that's down as well. Remember what I told you guys is we'll go to the dollar and take a look at this here a little shortly, but we were looking at the dollar getting closer to some supply. And we talked about in the broad market analysis that when the market was approaching that supply zone or the dollar, we would expect the market to rally. And you can see this starting to kind of unfold here. All right, nice push into our PMZ there. So you can see support level worked really well. For right now. AMD continues to push pretty nicely here. Remember, today is 0 DTE as well. 0 days till expiration. So you have some options on the SPY chain that expired today. This can be fun. And let's talk about levels and see, what is the possibility? If we take out the highs here, what are the possibilities? Where can we move to? And you could see a move into the back of the box, which is 435. And then I would expect my next resistance at around 437.53. So, 437 possibility. And we're going to go over here into the 5-minute. And we'll see if we could take out this pivot high here. Now, as far as the lows are concerned, I think 435 to 437 is possible on a bullish note. Okay. But on the downside, then we'd be looking at a gap fill, possibly, line in the sand around 425.76 or so. Okay. All right. It looks like Upstart's starting to move for us a little bit. But put a couple trims in. Oh, it looks like they just got filled. Yeah. So we just got filled on some Upstart trims. What you're looking for on SPY. See if we can get over this pivot high. There we go. Nice push there. Come on. That'll be the real tell. Right now we're coming up. Just a little temporary double top. Nice. All right, those SPYs that I just bought were up 20+%. Upstart 50%. And, the guys in here, the gals, you guys can see what I buy because my brokerage is linked to the room, my API. I got some more trims in for Upstart if we can continue to push here. SPY now 35%, guys. So not bad. I mean, 429, it's a 431 or 432. Not bad for a support level on the open. Does it continue to run? Let's see. Let's see. Let me come over here and check my lows trade. Just kind of chilling. Not a big move. Up 2.5 this morning. All right, let's see if we can hit the back of this box. That would be nice. So what you could do for reference is we can come across and you can create a line here at this previous high. Okay. All right, so I trimmed and closed SPY. Then I'm going to use my cash account here. All right, so I was using my bigger account on that last trade. And now I'm going to use my cash account, which you guys will see come through the risky. And what I'm going to do here is set up a strangle going into today on the 0 DTE. So now I think as we push up here, I'm going to buy the gap fill. Let's see. We'll see how much it is. I could see. So let's see. We'll go for a little bit lower than that. We're going to go kind of out of the money. Big time. Because, I expect a little bit of crazy here. And we're going to set up our strangle. All right, and there it is. All right, so we're on both sides. So now I don't want to put so much pressure on myself, right? You're already making money on the SPY call that we originally take. And then I'm jumping into my cash account, all right, a little bit smaller account. And then I'm buying a strangle to go into today's event. A catalyst, basically, I look at any sort of catalyst, whether it's Jerome, whether it's our earnings, all that stuff. There's a high probability that we're going to get a pretty big swing. And so with gamma and those things, you could see a nice spike in premium depending on what expectations are starting to build up as the market is moving up here. All right, so we're just going to kind of sit there on both sides of the trade. All right. And I think we just, let's see, I think I just trimmed again. I did 60% on Upstart, guys. So let's go ahead and from there, I just want to leave it alone. Okay, still have several positions left on that. Bobo, we already trimmed this morning. Not touching any more of those. So yesterday when I trimmed Crocs, my trade price is 74.89. Current price is at 76. I think I like some options in Crocs over the summer. Um, and so I'm probably going to go to a minimal approach on CROX. I love it down here, especially going into the summer months. But I think I'm going to add some options soon. So we'll look at that here shortly. Also, open. I have some naked puts on it and be interested in see where we can close by Friday. RBLX, another day up. My trade price there is at 42. Current price is at 39. And then Snap, my trade price is 32.08, and we are currently at 30.69. These are long-term equity trades. All right. All right. Give me just a few minutes. I'm going to walk away and heat up my drink, and I'll be right back with you guys. All right, I'm back here. Let's go ahead and take a look, see where we're at. All right, so far, made money in several different places, but just far as intraday goes, SPY long already sold, made profits, and then rolled into um, a strangle here going into the FOMC. And so far, everything's worked out. Came into support. We pushed to the PMZ. This is where I started my position. Then we pulled up, pushed up nicely. And then we took out the pivot high. And this is where I added the strangle. Upstart, I do have another trim in, I think around 100%, guys. So just know that. All right, still have CTVA as well. This one, I'm not a huge fan of the options. Now I say that this guy expires this week. I think what I'm going to do is just close out of it. We've done really well already. So there's just like I'll probably just take a flat on it. I don't like the way that the options are working on this thing. It's illiquid. You could see that. And then Lowe's looks like that one name that just doesn't want to do much today. We'll get back over here on SPY here in a second. Kind of talk about what it's doing. Just remember, you want to be using the cloud as a reference point here. All right. And like I said, I'm going to close the CTBA. I don't like it. It was a no gain, no loss trade right there. Bought at 115, sold at 115. Um, I don't like it. I liked it. So if you remember, this was a roll. So we made money and then I rolled into the trade. So just a little bit of management. If it wants to take off and you guys, you're doing your thing and you already have a preconceived, stop or something like that, do what you guys are going to do. Just remember my real brokerage alerts. These are just proof of concept showing you guys I'm trading what I say I'm trading. They're in no way telling you to buy or sell. Nice move on Crocs again. Let's go over here and take a look at it. All right, guys. So for here, I think this is where most traders have a really hard time. I really do, because they don't incorporate Fibonacci's. They don't understand where the higher probability trend holds are on an uptrending stock. A lot of people start looking at a lot of different tools that the common trader looks at. And I always say, if you're using free indicators, there's a reason why they're free. Everybody's using them. The opposite side of the market is using them to take money from you. Um, it's just something to think about. I don't use RSI. I know Bollinger Bands kind of help. I don't use Bollinger Bands. I use a lot of Fibonacci, supply and demand. Lots of credit to supply and demand. I think by far the best technique in trading. And I think I could prove that in a million ways. But definitely the best approach to trading is supply and demand. And then Fibonacci's right up there with it, understanding where to place them, how to identify uh, higher probabilities for shorts and or longs. And right now, what you're seeing, all right, so a lot of traders waking up this morning talking about gap fills and percentages of certain things that might happen. You get that stuck in your head. And we talked about that this morning. Um, Again, those percentages might play out, but timing is always a variable, right? The variable. Like I could tell you that 80% of gap fills happen if this X, Y, and Z, but price can move and make you money, go sideways, move and make you money. And then at the end of the day, it fills the gap. And then the person telling you that this percentage usually works told you here pre-market. So, it's just, to me, it's a bunch of smoke and mirrors. Um, it has no impact on the way that, like, we're trading. We're trading right now. And so long term, sure. But even if I buy puts here and the market were to continue to move up, your puts are so far down. And by the time something like this happens, depending on the strike that you buy, you could still be sitting at a negative trade in or flat trade. Just something to think about. All right. So all we're doing is taking advantage of the move right now. And then we have this if this, then that. So if price starts to break down below the support level, sure, then we're looking for moves to the downside, but then we're using some Fibonacci to help us find those targets. Okay. So T Camp, I'm not sure if you're listening or not, but we'll look at that here shortly. But one thing that I notice, what I see, all right, is that some of you, all right, because I'm on some of you, you have a good day and you're happy, and the next day you might not make money and then you're sad. And like if you can just think about that, part of trading is actually losing. And so what it tells me is if you're upset, then you think that you're going to win every day, right? You feel as if you should win. I mean, think about it. Like when Mark Douglas talks, he talks about, we put on a trade because we literally think we're going to win that trade, right? Why else would you be taking a trade? Right? So the idea that you think that you're going to win every trade is really going to put you in a spiral, because when you don't, you get really upset. Now, it's hard to turn off those emotions. I get upset too. It's very difficult. But the more you lose, in my opinion. The more you start to get comfortable with the idea that trading involves losing. You know, if you look at yourself like a machine, like you are a machine, you know, and you're trading your levels, you're trading your high probability setups, you're doing your thing, and just a machine. Boom, lose, boom, win, lose, you know, and then try to compile that, and at the end of the day, look at your journal. What are the things you did? And all you could do is best try to figure out. But most likely, what the market will do is going to change daily. And so sometimes, you know, the things that you were writing down yesterday don't make a whole lot of sense for the next day, right? Pretty crazy. It make you insane. All right, let's see. What do I want to do here? This CROX, I want to take a look here for options. CROX. A move. What a move right here. Look at this thing. Big move, actually. I love this stock here. Yesterday I was thinking, I'm like, I really thinking of options right now. You know, you got this big level of sell pressure in here, though. Matter of fact, my buddy Ben was showing me some of this, and you could see. I mean, you got your inside and down here, which is really interesting because your point of control and the highest amount of volume. So sorry, right in here is right around that area. I'm just showing you. See right there. So you could find this area right here as resistance. And basically that's where we're pushing up into right now. I would like to see this hit after Jerome says something, pull back, you know, because probably scare the masses a little bit, and then buy that pullback for that push up into 95 to 100 into the summer months. That's what I would love to see. Upstart's flashing 100%. I don't know if I'll get filled though. I don't think so. It keeps flashing back and forth, but now what I'm looking at on Crocs is looking at buying some options. I might sell some naked puts, and if for some reason um, Crocs decides to pull back pretty big, then I'll just get exercise, and that will start my long-term trade over. If for some reason it continues up, then I'll just collect the premium on those puts. So, just letting you guys know. Amazon just kind of flat at 30 plus 30. I want to take a look at this just really quick. Same story. A lot of these are moving up into their clouds on the daily. Um, I wouldn't mind trying to pin it at 3,100 with some kind of bullish remarks. I know that sounds crazy, but that's what butterflies are for, right? Butterflies are for crazy. See how much these are. Bad. See, what's the spreads? 855 by 925. There we go. Cool. So I'm going to do an Amazon butterfly here. Nice little push there. All right, let me check out this. Again, I just took a butterfly in Amazon. I'm going to, and again, you guys can see that. My trades. All right, so Croc's coming off support. Possible push up here into the inside of down around 80. Right over here. And so far, we just got like a nice little 15, 20 point move in Amazon. We come over here to Crocs. Might do something in the cash account for this week. That's what I'm going to do. So the 80s look interesting on Crocs. I almost feel like I'll let them expire worthless. Or not worthless, sorry. I'll let them expire in the money if we get there. Yeah, I'll just let it sit there. Nice move in Amazon. All right, we might have got that trim. Let me see. Nope, I thought I heard something. LOW, there we go. Wanted to close that. Good. Looks like we're up 53% on the SPY calls. Interesting. %56%. There's DE, baby. Coming back. SPY 114%. Boom. Another trim on Upstart. Let's go. Ben and I were having this conversation yesterday, and he was like, yeah, just go big. So I was like, okay. I'm saying, like, these spreads work so well so many times, man. Oh my. 154% now, guys. I'm bringing up stops on the call side. Wait. Give me 1 second. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Boom. So even with the strangle, you're up over 70%. And just on the calls alone, 150, 160% now, guys. 182%. Let's go. Nice. Now, this is what I'm going to do. I just got stopped out on the call side for 150%. I'm going to add to the short side. Not like a stupid ad, like, oh man, I'm super convicted. Not that kind of ad. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. Don't want to get silly here. I feel the euphoria. Can you feel it? I can feel it. Boom. Upstart 150%. Let's go. All right, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a butterfly now on the call side. Ah, wrong account. Sorry. Damn it. I do this every morning. It's so funny. I think it's funny. I just want y'all to remember all those fools out there that were talking about the market crash and right when we were buying. I just want you to remember that feeling. I'm not saying that they can't be right, but timing is the variable. There are many, many people out there that can call a market and they wait for it to happen and then they tell you that it happened and then they're super smart, right? But they don't take into consideration all the people that followed them when they first said it and then they're like sitting there like under for weeks and weeks or days and days. Like imagine being short on ES futures because some guy told you that the market's supposed to die today. You know, you're down 80 points, almost $5,000 a contract. All right, guys. So, all right, butterflies 438 by 440 by 442 on the call side, added into the put side. Okay, they come from two different accounts because I'm using the margin account for my butterflies and the cash account for the put side. All right. Come on, Amazon. Let's go. This is giving us an opportunity, though, if you've been long or you're having a hard time. Yeah. Yeah, underdog. That was a great trade on Nvidia, man. I hear you. I think a lot of people were probably um, came into the day, you know, thinking, man, if I wouldn't have trimmed my calls from yesterday or closed my calls from yesterday, how much would I be up? I know those are hard to look at, right? I don't think we have anything like that, or I didn't hold anything like that. Remember what we said, intraday trading, if you guys made over 100% to look at holding. some positions into today, but we were looking for, kind of sounds funny, but we were looking for the rally to continue here as it looks like a rounding bottom, as I kept talking about, and we'll go to this and show you. All right, so we're almost to the back of the box. We made, I think we pushed up about 180% there. I can't make this stuff up. You can see it there. We talked all the way through it. It was a good time. And I appreciate you guys. I'm just going to roll out and we'll wait for Jerome a little bit later on in the session. No sense of trying to overtrade now. So you guys have a good one.